The quiet cousin. Everyone ignored. Until the Thanksgiving check arrived. The thing about family gatherings is that everyone remembers who you used to be, not who you are now. And for most of my family, I was still the quiet kid who never amounted to much. Every Thanksgiving, same house, same long table, same conversations. My aunt bragging about her son's law firm. My uncle talking about his new lake house. My cousin Tyler showing off another expensive watch. And then there was me, sitting at the far end of the table, mostly invisible. "Hey, Daniel," Tyler said with a grin, swirling his drink. "You still doing that little computer thing?" "Little computer thing." I smiled politely. "Yeah, something like that." The truth was, explaining what I actually did was pointless, because nobody there had ever cared before. My aunt leaned over. "So, are you at least making decent money yet?" she asked. The table chuckled softly. Not cruel, just dismissive, like they were humoring a hobby. I took a sip of water. "Well, I'm doing okay." That answer satisfied them, because in their minds, okay meant struggling. Conversation moved on. Tyler started talking about his latest promotion. "My bonus this year was insane," he said, leaning back proudly. "Honestly, hard work pays off." Everyone nodded. My uncle slapped the table. "That's my boy." Then Tyler glanced at me again. "What about you, Daniel?" he asked. "Any big wins this year?" The table went quiet. Just long enough. I shrugged. "Actually, yeah." My aunt chuckled. "Oh, this should be good." I reached into my jacket and pulled out an envelope. Nothing fancy, just a simple white envelope. I slid it across the table toward my grandmother. "Grandma, this is for you." She looked confused. "For me?" "Yeah," I said sadly. "Open it." Everyone watched, because now it was awkward. Grandma slowly pulled out the paper inside. Her hands trembled slightly, the way they do when you're not sure what you're looking at. Her eyes scanned the page once, then again, then a third time. The room grew quiet. Really quiet. "Daniel?" she whispered. "Yes?" Is this real?" Tyler leaned over. "What is it?" Grandma turned the paper around. It was a bank confirmation. A transfer. For $4 million. The entire table froze. My aunt blinked. "Wait, what?" My uncle grabbed the paper. "This has to be fake." I leaned back calmly. "It's real." Tyler frowned. "Where the hell did you get $4 million?" I thought about that question. About the years working alone in a tiny apartment, the nights nobody called, the birthdays nobody remembered, the times they laughed when I said I was building a company. "Remember that little computer thing?" I said. Tyler nodded slowly. "Yeah." "Well," I replied, "I sold it last month." Silence. Heavy silence. My aunt suddenly straightened her posture. "Oh my goodness, Daniel, you should have told us." My uncle forced a laugh. "Ha! I always said the kid was smart." Tyler stared at me like he was trying to solve a puzzle. "How much did you sell it for?" I shrugged. "After taxes, around 42 million. You could almost hear the oxygen leave the room. Grandma was still holding the paper, tears forming in her eyes. Why would you give me this much money? She asked softly. I smiled, because she was the only one at that table who had ever believed in me. When I was broke, when I was invisible, when everyone else thought I was wasting my life. Because, I said gently, you're the only person who never treated me like I was nothing. Grandma started crying, not loud, just quiet, grateful tears. Across the table, my relatives suddenly looked very different, less confident, less loud. Tyler cleared his throat. So, what are you doing now? He asked. I stood up, grabbing my coat. Well, I said, smiling lightly, probably the same thing I've always done. What's that? My aunt asked. I paused at the door, looked back at the table, at the same people who once thought I was a joke, and I said, building the next one. Then I walked out into the cold evening air, leaving behind the quietest Thanksgiving dinner that family had ever had. And for the first time in my life, the quiet cousin had the last word.